sick of love songs, I'm tired of this, and I wanna tell you straight just like it is.
Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel, Small House Big Home. So as many of you may have noticed, I didn't have a video come out last week. I really apologize for that. Life is definitely getting in the way. My full-time job is asking more of me than I really want to give, but I was finally able to get a video out for you this week. It's going to be part 2-ish of my deep cleaning of the kitchen series, but I also threw in a little bit of cook with me and just general clean with me, just because that's kind of what time allowed for me. So today's video actually occurred over 2 days. The first day I organized and cleaned out our fridge as a part of my deep cleaning kitchen series. As you can see, that's what I'm doing right now. And then the next day, Chris and I had a hankering for meatloaf, so we decided to make a meatloaf, and I thought it'd be fun to bring y'all along with me, and also just cleaning the kitchen once we're done with that. So today's video is going to be over 2 days, like I said. First day is fridge organization, and I'm hoping that you get a lot of motivation from this. I found some new products that you're going to be using in my fridge, just because Chris and I are curious and want to see what they're going to be like for our family. So I'm going to share those with you, and then, like I said, the second day I'm going to bring you along with me while we make a meatloaf and clean up the kitchen. I hope that you get a lot of motivation from this video, or inspiration, or whatever you're looking for. I also hope that you enjoy cooking with me, and that it's kind of a fun experience to have somebody to cook with, and it was also a lot of fun just to film this for you guys. So I plan on coming out with a lot more videos, especially with cooking, just because I think it's a lot of fun. If you are not subscribed, I hope that you consider subscribing. It is completely free and definitely helps out my channel. It just lets you know when I have videos coming out and keeps you updated on what we have going on in our family. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Leave me breathless, breathless.
So as you can see, this glass is super gross. Chris and I hosted Thanksgiving last year for his family, and whenever we just were unloading everything in the fridge, we had a big spill, and it had gotten underneath the plastic, like underneath the glass on top of the plastic, and I could not for the life of me figure out how to undo the plastic from the glass. But Chris figured it out today, so that was super awesome. I was able to finally clean that. It had been driving me crazy, and in a clip a little bit later, I'll show you kind of how he puts it back together. But basically, there's just some little clippies underneath the plastic thing that he was able to just pull off. It was really easy, which kind of made me mad because it's been sitting there for almost 6 months, just really gross and needing to be cleaned.
But I know you have a lot to give.
drawers for the fridge, I started by just full-blown washing them, but some water ended up getting in between the pieces of plastic. So I think what I really need to do is just take a weekend or something and take everything apart, because I'm pretty sure that this drawer completely comes apart and I can just get everything scrubbed down that way. Tonight, I did not have any time to do that. So I decided to just use my multi-purpose spray. You can see here I'm trying to undo it, but I decided to just use my multi-purpose spray and just wipe everything down so that at least it was clean. And I will see if I have time to pull things apart and get them really, really cleaned in another video.
Wish I could say I was finally over you, but that's not the truth.
So Chris saw these on TikTok and said that he absolutely needed them. So our plan is to organize our fresh veggies in these so that whenever you have a hankering for a snack or something, instead of going for chips or whatever unhealthy snacks you have around the house, that you have cut up and washed veggies just ready to go in these little slide out drawers. They cost a little bit more than what we were hoping for. I think I saw some that are on Amazon that are a little bit cheaper, but for these I got them at the Container Store. They're part of the Home Edit line, and they are honestly really awesome. Whenever you just walk into you just go to the fridge and you see the fresh veggies cut, you're like, ooh, that actually sounds really good. So that's a little tip, just to have your veggies and fruits and stuff cut and washed so that you are more likely to gravitate to those whenever you are wanting a snack.
Stay when I had the chance. Maybe it will pass by. Someone save me for a pass out. I'm too lonely to be done in my drink at this pace. Yeah. Why am I the only one who's left in the rain with nobody to hold on to? Ooh. Why am I the only one who's feeling this pain when there should be two of us? And yeah, I know we both wanted different things, but letting go just comes easy to you, don't it? Why am I the only one who's left in the rain? The only one that's left in the rain. The only one that's left in the rain.
So I don't really have any tips when it comes to organizing your fridge, except for really what makes sense for your family and what your family does. I know it's easy to get caught up in the Pinterest and Instagram boards that are just gorgeous and color-coded, and it looks like all they really eat are, you know, apples and celery and, I don't know, LaCroix or something. That's not real life. You know, real life is leftovers. Real life is condiments. Real life is, I have to shove every little piece of food that we have in this house, and unfortunately I only have one fridge, so, you know, there's limits to how gorgeous things can look. But I think what's important is, as long as it's good for your family and as long as it makes sense for your family and you're not wasting food and you're finding what you need, it works. The prettiness comes in when it comes to function, and that's what's important, making it work for your family.
Let's get some sun, baby, it's time to go. All we need to put on is the radio. I can feel the heat is rising, and that beat is hypnotizing. Oh, oh, oh.
So here is how the fridge turned out. I have to say I'm really loving it. It definitely has that Pinterest organization vibe. Not perfect because obviously people live here and use a bunch of different condiments, as you can see, but it just looks a little bit more clean and fresh, and it definitely feels nice to just have everything organized and just looking as pretty as it possibly can. So the next day I needed to get the meatloaf started. So these are the ingredients that we're going to be using today. The new thing that I'm adding for today's meatloaf is actually the Hunt's meatloaf sauce and the tomato paste. I usually do the exact same recipe without those two things. But the first thing you're going to do is preheat your oven to 425. The way that I like meatloaf is whenever it has kind of like a crust on the outside. And I've noticed that if you start it on high heat and cook it the whole time on high heat, the crust just is a little bit thicker and is just a lot nicer. That's just kind of my opinion. So if you don't like thick crust, go ahead and do it the traditional way, which I think is actually cooking it at 400 for an hour and then kicking up the heat to 425 for the last 15 minutes. So it just kind of depends on your preference, and I really have just played with this recipe and kind of gotten it to where I like it and to where Chris likes it. And like I said, we do play with things, but for the most part it's just whatever we kind of think that we like and whatever we want to add in. So first thing I needed to do was, like I said, preheat the oven, then diced up an onion. If you like onion, I would do a whole onion. If you don't like onion, do only half an onion, because a whole onion ends up being a lot with 3 pounds of meat. And I used this Hunt's meatloaf sauce. You're supposed to add half to the actual meatloaf and then add half to the topping at the end. And Chris and I honestly didn't love it. So I don't think that we're going to use it again. I think it was a little bit more basil-y than we wanted, if that makes sense. And I usually don't put a lot of tomatoes in my meatloaf just because we like a little bit more of a savory meatloaf. So if you like kind of that basil, kind of herby taste, you might actually really enjoy that. But we decided that we probably aren't going to use it again. So just FYI, that's what it tastes like if you've never used it. So once you have all the ingredients together, just get in there with your hands and just mash it all together. Then you're going to make a loaf on a 9x13 and throw it in the oven for an hour. The way that I keep my meatloaf really moist is I actually put beef broth like on the edges of the meatloaf after it's in the pan, so that way it just kind of has that moisture and has that beef broth kind of cooking with the meat, and it actually is really nice.
With you tonight, so just sit with me, talking to the night until the morning, building chemistry. I don't think I ever wanna go come closer next to me, trying to find another way to say this, but I think
the glaze that we decided to use was just ketchup, and I like to add seasonings to the top just to make it a little bit crispy and to also give it a little bit more kick of seasoning. The seasonings are definitely optional. You don't have to do that. You can also just sprinkle onions on it or chives, just kind of whatever you really like. Meatloaf is one of those things I don't think you can really get wrong. So go ahead and experiment and enjoy.
Let's just take our time, dropping everything, 'cause you're stuck on my mind. So just sit with me, talking to the night until the morning, building.
So when I'm done cooking and just prepping out food, I try to keep the kitchen clean, so just putting things away and making sure it doesn't become too much of a mess for the end of the night. I'm going to save all of the dishes and all of the big cleaning for later in the evening, but for now I'm going to just pick up and put away the little seasonings and ingredients that I used. And also, since I was using ground meat and some of the blood and meat juices got on the counter, I used my anti-bac all-purpose spray from Method on the counters. While I'm letting the meatloaf cook for that hour, I decided to get the microwave deep cleaned. I didn't do that in part 1 of my kitchen deep cleaning video, and as you can see, it definitely needed it. I can't remember what we warmed up, but it splattered absolutely everywhere. So I'm using my Method heavy duty degreaser to make sure it cuts through the grease and the grime.
Talking to the night until the morning, building chemistry. I don't think I ever wanna go, come closer next to me. Trying to find another way to say this, but I think we were meant to be. Mistakes haunt us, but do they really daunt us? Your tongue can be sharp, cut me close to the heart, but we can master the art. And the thing is that these scars are scary, but they are just some old scars. We should never be afraid of them. You and I know when we are too far apart, everything just falls apart. So I just close my eyes and dream about our kids and how they're running around. Won't you come and lay down next to me? Close your eyes.
At this point, the meatloaf had been in the oven for about an hour, and per the instructions on the can, I went ahead and added the rest of that Hunt's meatloaf sauce on the top and just let it cook for another 10 minutes. As you can see, I have a thermometer on the meatloaf. Chris actually added that, and he just wants to keep track of it and make sure that we cook everything long enough. If you're curious, meatloaf is supposed to be at 160 and we were at 130 degrees, so that's what we were waiting for. For our sides, I decided to go a little carb light and wanted to just do green beans with just a little bit of olive oil, salt, pepper, and garlic.
Change that lasts, like a song about our past. So I just close my eyes and dream about our kids and how they're running around. Won't you come and lay down next to me? Close your eyes and we'll be free.
So here's how everything turned out. I just added some little dried onions on the top of the green beans, and it was just really, really yummy and also really pretty.
Point of pointing fingers. Come on, let's reach.
So now that dinner was done and the lighting is sufficiently horrible because it's currently nighttime outside, I needed to go ahead and get the kitchen cleaned from after the day. Chris always helps me by putting away the leftovers and helping me load up the dishwasher, and then I usually follow through and clean up the rest just because it's one of those things that I like doing, a little bit therapeutic for me at the end of the day to have a clean kitchen. So I'm going to take you through that. I'm not going to talk you through what I'm doing, just play some music for you and hope you enjoy.
If you tried, you wouldn't understand it. Maybe something's missing inside of you. Just a bit of sugar to that horrid bitter. Maybe you taste different. Hold up, baby. I can sit beside you while you're going on about your simple life. Nothing left you thinking that maybe you're not different. I guess it never hit you. Our conversation takes two, paying it some time to time. Inside all that greatness and all of your adventures, you're all alone. Hold up, baby, I can sit beside you while you're going on about your simple life. Nothing left you thinking that maybe you're not different. Go on, blow up your ego, your undying ego. Oh, look here he goes, stepping on toes with his humble and everlasting ego. Oh, here he goes, here he goes, here he goes. Oh, here he goes, oh, here he goes, oh, here he goes, here he goes, here he goes with his humble and everlasting ego. Someone hurt your feelings not that long ago, and every bit of you couldn't face the truth that maybe you're just not that nice and humble kind. That would be a lie. Go on, blow up your ego, your undying ego. Oh, look here he goes, stepping on toes with his humble and everlasting ego. Oh, here he goes, here he goes, here he goes. Oh, here he goes, oh, here he goes, oh, here he goes, here he goes, here he goes with his humble and everlasting ego.
Yeah. Time flies, close your eyes. Imagine you could see everybody else's dream, what a comfort it would be. All along, standing strong, the way it ought to be. But you can never walk alone on your way to being free. We're only human after all. Nothing could make us fall apart. I'm ready to answer for what I've done wrong in my life. It's nothing, I promise. It's not enough to make you cry. I'm only human after all. I'm only human after all. Yeah, it's not that big a deal when I think about it now. We should never be afraid to believe in it somehow. 'Cause we're only human after all. Nothing can make us fall apart. Whoa. I'm ready to answer for what I've done wrong in my life. It's nothing, I promise. It's not enough to make you cry. I'm only human after all. I'm only human.
Okay, that's going to be the end of this video. I hope that you enjoyed it and that it brought you plenty of motivation. Had a lot of things going on. We got the fridge cleaned and organized, got dinner cooked, and also cleaned up after dinner, and even cleaned the microwave. So got a lot of stuff done for this kitchen deep clean part 2, and I will have part 3 coming out hopefully next week, as long as everything goes according to plan. And if not, I will definitely have it coming out the week after. Life is definitely getting in the way, so unfortunately it's messing with my schedule. But Kitchen Deep Cleaning Part 3 will be coming out very soon, and I am going to be taking everything out of the kitchen and just completely decluttering and organizing. I am so ready for this video. It definitely needs to happen. So please stay tuned. Make sure that you subscribe if you are not, so that you don't miss anything. Click that notification bell so it'll let you know whenever I post a video. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.
So lazy.
All the time.
Fine. I know when to
Night,
take a
y'all.
moment.
I'm ready to